All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Denver Beer and Oil. On today's episode, this beauty makes a comeback. As you can see, we got it strapped to the dyno. First, I'll go over some things that are going on right now. So if anybody's curious, basically what happened was I built this car for Roadkill, drove it, had a bunch of fun with it, did a bunch of donuts, did a bunch of burnouts, etc., etc., etc. You know how we do it. When the Corvette popped up, I panic sold it. Yeah, last year's Corvette, not the most recent one. I know my car antics are hard to follow. A couple buddies in Denver bought it. Royal Vinyl. You guys check them out. If you want a vinyl job, you're in Denver, let them know. They drove it, had a bunch of fun with it, drifted it around the city, got in a little bit of trouble with it, and then sold it to our now friend, Dylan, who owns it. And he brought it back in so we could final tune it. Basically, the tune is okay on it. It's not crazy. I wasn't able to put it on a dyno. I didn't tune anything for warm-up enrichment. It was basically take it to the track, drive it for the ambient conditions that were currently present, and that was about as far as I went with it. So we're going to be dialing in the ignition timing. We're going to be cranking up the boost little by little. I've got all new ignition components in here right now. So we got new cap, new rotor, new wires. When we ran it the first time, it was over boosting. So I did a little bit of looking in here, and the wastegate that was on it was actually shot. It was some cheap Chinese replica of a tile, I believe. Got a brand new wastegate. I'm in the middle of actually assembling it right now with the proper springs. I'll get into that. Start with probably about 13 PSI and see if the ignition can handle that. If it can, we'll raise it up a little bit more, but I'm gonna start it at 13 PSI base, I think. If you guys are interested in seeing lower boost numbers, I'm willing to do that as well. But that's going to be a whole separate video of probably just dyno runs. So yeah, let's get into it. Got her torn apart. Wastegate goes down there. This is a pretty decent manifold. It's still got the original turbo on it that I had put on it. This is mostly exactly how it was when it left after I owned it. So like I said, going through the ignition, the wires aren't new. These are the old ones. I've already done the cap and rotor. So then going over here, one of the things I wanted to get into with you guys, how to set up your wastegate properly. A few things. First of all, what you're going to want to do, so this is our new wastegate. This is a Tile MVR. This is a 44 millimeter wastegate. And every time you buy a wastegate, it's going to come with a bunch of these springs. Okay? And so you'll notice these are all color coded. So what you do is you go on your old telefono, and on Tile's website, tilesport.com, they have these spring pressure charts, if you can see that. So basically, if you look here, there are colors. There's your color codes. You come over here, you find out how many PSI or how many bar you want to run. You find it accordingly. You go over, you find your spring colors. Bam. If you know when your gate was made, the colors are sometimes a little different. So we are going to be putting, we want 1305. We're going to go over here. We're going to be putting a black and a green spring in because our wastegate was made after 11612. I literally just bought this morning. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to take the top of this off. You take these set screws out right here, all these little guys. The whole top comes off. You take your old springs out, you find your new springs, you put them in. I got the top off the wastegate here, as you can see. These do not, if you buy them new, they don't come with springs in there. You got to choose your springs and put them in. One quick thing I wanted to go over though was an easy way to do this is to bring up your spring chart, and if you want to kind of mix and match and custom make here, your springs basically are additive. And so what I mean by that is, you see how there's only 4 springs listed here? Well, they do this very tactically, so they have to make the least amount of springs. What you can do is just figure out how much you want to run, or any combination, and you can just add these numbers together. So any combination of these numbers, you can add those springs together, and that will give you your desired opening pressure for your wastegate. So like I said, we're running the black and the green springs. So what we're going to do is just pop these in here. That goes there. This goes here. Bam, just like that. And then I'm going to put the top back on, screw everything down, and get all of our fittings on there. So if you guys are changing wastegates, one thing that's very important to check, this is the firing from the old wastegate. Okay? The firing is what sits right here. Is basically what takes the brunt of the heat as the wastegate opens. It is a replaceable section in case it melts. Either way, very important that what you need to do is you take your old firing, right, and you check it on your new weld-on flange. Now, as you can tell, there is no play in that at all. So I'm getting really lucky here that Chinese copy wastegate was actually the exact same dimensions as a tile. Check that before you swap your wastegate. Otherwise, you might be wondering, why doesn't my freaking wastegate fit? Why isn't my boost coming on great? Well, that plus that equals leak if it's not right. So anyway, so welcome back. Hamish is back on video. No more boomer cam. I have the new spark plug wires on. I've got them actually here. I did the old Chris Fix trick here. David Freiberger, you know, pick your YouTuber, whatever. Did the old spark plug wires coiled zip tied separator. So yeah, got that going. So we got new wires, new cap, new rotor, new wastegate. I've got the wastegate set at 13 psi as we discussed earlier. So we're going to start at 13 and work our way up until we find out what psi this does like. I may play with some ignition timing before we get into pumping the boost here, but the bottom line is we're going to run this car and have some fun. So let's do it. Alright, so basically it only got up to 8 psi. I found a really loose coupler, so we're going to run it again. Let's see if we can get up to 12. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's another day. Not that that matters for you, but it matters for us because I have this nifty little jammer. This is a manual boost controller. It basically just works by acting as a buffer between the pressure signal in the manifold or, you know, intercooler charge piping to the wastegate. It makes the wastegate open later. It fools it into thinking that you're actually running, in our case, 12.5 psi, when in reality you're running 15, 18, 20 psi. So if you don't have more springs for your wastegate to change, or you want to be able to change it on the fly, this is a good, easy option. Super easy to install. Check it out. Ready? Hose coming from the wastegate goes to the side hose right here. So we're going to stick that on. Then you got your hose coming from your manifold. Since I've already had a boost controller installed on this, it was already kind of set up. Bam, it's as easy as that. So right now I've got the boost controller all the way out. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna fire this thing up, get it warmed up, and I'm gonna start doing pulls and logging boost pressure until we get it probably somewhere around 15 is what I'd guess. I don't wanna run too much because we don't wanna blow out spark. This ignition system is a little weak, just in general on these cars they are. But we're basically gonna go until we start having issues with spark, and I'm going to back it off a pound or two. And then we'll start playing with ignition timing and warm-up enrichment and all that stuff. We've got it tuned pretty well actually right now, fuel-wise and spark-wise for the top end. So I'm going to leave that for now until we get our boost dialed in. And then I'll do a lot of fine-tuning and work on closed-loop stuff. But anyway, you guys don't really care about that, but if you do, let me know. The important thing is we want to see some numbers, so let's go see some numbers. Yep.
That's how I get to
Holy shit! All right.
499. Damn.
500. How many psi was that?
I saw like 18.6 to 19.
Really?
Around there, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull a little bit out of it, but wow. Wow.
Yeah, she's stoked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
These are all the runs it's done. That was the best run it's made by far. It's very happy about that.
Like open more?
Yeah, I'm pulling boost. I don't want it to be running 18.
Oh yeah, you closed it more then. Or
you back it
you
out.
open the boost controller to
so
lower
you
the boost.
Turn it in to up it, you back it out to lower it.
Gotcha. Damn.
That 720 number is fake. It's not real, but it did make well over it made about 560 torque.
Damn.
That number spike was at the end when it misfired. So the real number it made was about 565, 560 something.
Yeah, 560, 565. Yeah.
It holds 19 psi without blowing spark out. Like, I don't say no problem, but no problem.
Happy.
Yeah.
So you're gonna turn it down and try for 5, or you're gonna keep it at 5 and then like clean it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it right there. We're gonna clean it up.
Okay.
So it's probably not gonna make. Well, I still gotta play with the ignition timing. Sorry, I'm focused, very focused.
Tuner man.
That thing's pretty sick. Making some power. 500 is excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Real fun for a missile. Since I last saw you guys, which was the same day, but now it's the next day, I just wanted to do some warm-up enrichment kind of stuff, which we have handled, as you can see. It's idling nicely, even though it has no idle air control valve. Sick. Anyway, I wrote an entirely new tune for it with closed loop fuel control and everything, so that way it's idiot-proof and doesn't have to be constantly retuned, you know, due to varying weather conditions and such. So yeah, let's see what it makes. Place your bets, gentlemen. Actually, if you follow me on Instagram, you would already know what it makes. So follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Here we go.
.533, and then what's your torque?
The torque is probably, let's find out. It's gonna be, whoops. Cancel. Oh shit, damn it. Damn it, all right, guess we just gotta do it again.
Going again.
Oh well, here we go.
That's better.
Yep, that's about exactly what it made yesterday. It made 10 more foot-pounds today, but it's probably just less heat soaked on the intercooler. But yeah, very pumped with these numbers. If you guys are doing Turbo M30 stuff, or if you're not doing Turbo M30 stuff, you should, as clearly exemplified by this 250% increase in power, literally. The last one that we dynoed that was NA made like what, 164, I think? So with a shitty junkyard turbo, 250% increase in power, not bad, not bad. And again, just so you guys are very clear on what this is, air density right now is 82.9. This engine is completely stock bottom end, stock head gasket, ARP bolts. It's got a fuel pump, a Holset turbo, an external wastegate. It's basically like a German RapidSpool manifold copy. But literally nothing crazy. When I originally built this car, I built the entire thing, including the car, for 2,200 bucks. So you can do it, guys. Clearly, it's right here. Yeah, it's pretty rad. So now this thing is a certified missile. 513 horsepower is nothing to, you know, put your nose up at, especially in a car this light. This is gonna be a fun car. Unfortunately, I can't even drive it because the freaking studs in the wheel are completely stripped. So we got that going for us. Awesome. It's lucky we were even able to get it to bolt to the dyno. So I'm going to change the hub out, and then maybe we'll do a drive video or a drift video with Dylan driving it later. Anyway, so let us know what you guys want to see. We got a lot of shit boxes and we can put them all in the dyno, so let's do it. Yeah, we're going to be strapping Tinky Winky up. We're going to be strapping the drift truck up. Corvette before I change the motor, Corvette after I change the motor. Metrics, ladies and gentlemen, metrics. We like metrics.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, yep, it is what it is. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Later.